Welcome back, students. This is your social class 8th standard. Today we are going to start a new lesson from history, lesson 5, educational development in India. So the learning objectives are: know the ancient system of education in India, understand the development of education in medieval and modern India, analyze the educational development during the British rule, discuss the importance of national education policy, and understand the educational development in Tamil Nadu. So these are the learning objectives of this lesson. Knowledge is the third eye of man, right? Okay. So introduction of this lesson. Education is a continuous process of acquiring and sharing of knowledge, skills and values. So, as we all know, education is very important for our life to survive in this world, isn't it? So, education, it's not a process which ends somewhere else, but education is a continuous process acquiring knowledge, sharing of knowledge, okay, skills and values, okay. This doesn't end at any time till our breath, okay. Education is recognized as the foundation of a progressive society. It plays a vital role in shaping responsible people. So education plays a very important role in shaping the responsible of the people, right? The world we live is constantly changing and developing. So each and every day this world is constantly changing and developing in nature, right? So, to meet the challenges and overcome the obstacles, we need to be well educated and to know the role of the education in the human development process. So, in order to overcome all the obstacles and challenges, whatever we face in this world because of continuous changing and developing of the world, we need to acquire more knowledge and we need to be well educated, right? So, which one helps us? Education helps us. So, let us learn the development of education in India through the ages. Okay, education in ancient India. So, during ancient India, how the education was. The historical sources provide the information that from very early times, the tradition of teaching and learning had been in vogue in India. So, in ancient period, in historical sources, what it provides the information that from very early times, okay, the tradition of teaching and learning had been very vague in India, okay. The concept of education might have originated from the Vedas. The concept of origin is originated from where? The Vedas. The literal meaning, the Sanskrit word Veda is knowledge. The Sanskrit word Veda is what? Knowledge. And the word derived from the word with. Okay. And the word derived from the word with, that is Veda. Okay. Veda means what? Knowledge. And the word derived from the word with, which means to know. Okay. Our ancient education system evolved over many centuries and focused on the holistic development of the individual by taking care of both the innate and latent capacities. It emphasized on values such as humility, truthfulness, discipline, self-reliance and respect for all creations. Okay, so here we just saw holistic development. Okay, holistic is nothing but what? It's a complete development. Okay, so here holistic is nothing but complete development. Okay, and both innate we saw, innate and latent we saw. So this is very interior, very deep inside. Okay, that is the meaning of that. Next, coming to sources of learning. You must have learned the names of Panini, Aryabhatta, Katyayana, and Patanjali. Their writings and the medical treatises of Charaka and Sushruta were also some of the sources of learning. Various disciplines such as history, logic, interpretation, architecture, polity, agriculture, trade, commerce, animal husbandry, and archery were taught. Physical education too was an important curricular area, and pupils participated in games and recreational activities. The gurus and their students worked conscientiously together to become proficient in all aspects of learning. In order to assess student skill, literary debates were originated. So, during those days, literary skills will be or debates will be originated in order to make the children talk. Okay. Students at an advanced stage of learning guided younger students. When the students are in the advanced stages of learning, the brilliant students will be kept to guide the weaker students or to guide the junior of them. The system of pair learning was also practiced, like you have group or pair work, okay, group studying, okay, or team work, okay. So, ancient education system in India, the way of life. So, this is how the Gurukula system there. The Guru will be teaching the Sishyas under the tree or under the nature. Okay. Not only the Guru will be talking there, teaching there, but the Sishyas will also respond to them or interact with them. Okay. In ancient India, both formal and informal education existed. Indigenous education was imparted at home, in temple, pathshalas and gurukulas. So, both formal and informal education were present in ancient India. Okay. Indigenous education was imparted at home. So, at home, temples, pathshalas and gurukulas, all these indigenous educations were imparted. There were people in homes, villages and temples who guided young children in imbibing pious ways of life. Temples played a vital role in imparting education and served the centers of learning. Students went to viharas and universities for higher studies. Teaching was oral, and students remembered and meditated upon what was taught in the Gurukulas. So, all the teachings by the Gurus will be oral. And they started to learn and they started to meditate what the Gurus has taught them. Many of these Gurukulas were named after the sages. Situated in forest in serene and peaceful surroundings, hundreds of students used to learn together in Gurukulas. During the early period, education was imparted by the teacher, that is Guru or Acharya, okay, to the pupils who gathered around him and came to live in his house as members of his family. This was known as Gurukula system of education. There will not be school like, but the students will be coming to teachers' home itself and stay along with them, help them, and they has come to learn more from the teacher lively. Okay, they'll be interacting more, they'll be helping them. While helping them, they'll be learning many things from the Gurukulas. Okay, and this is called as what? Gurukula system. During that period, the Gurus and their Sishyas, that is pupils, students, okay, lived together helping each other in day-to-day life. The main objectives was to have complete learning, leading a disciplined life and realizing one's inner potential. So, this period is complete learning for the students, okay, and they wanted to learn more discipline and realizing their inner potential or inner skill, what kind of skill they have. They will be finding out that during the stay with the Gurus. Students lived away from their parents. or homes, okay, for years together till they achieve their goals. Students will not go home until they achieve their achieve their goal, okay. So nowadays you come to school, you study and go home, right? But in ancient days, the Gurukula system period, the students will be staying along with gurus for lifetime until they achieve the goal. They will not return to home. The Gurukula was also the place where the relationship between guru and students strengthened with time. The relationship between gurus and students, okay, between teacher and students will be strengthened in within a time, okay. Many monasteries and viharas were set up for monks and nuns to meditate, debate and discuss with the learned for their quest for knowledge during this period. Around these viharas, other educational centers of higher learning developed, which attracted students from China, Korea, Tibet, Burma, Ceylon, Java, Nepal and other distant countries. Okay children, we'll just stop up to this. Next class we shall start from Viharas and Universities Buddhist period. Thank you children and take care.